Hey, how you doing? This is Kitch, and welcome back to another episode of Kitch's Blueprint Book. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the mall that I created in the Impractical Factorio series, which I am calling the Completely Practical Strip Mall. I've been using Catherine of Sky's mall blueprints now for a very, very long time in all of my playthroughs. They're very well done. They work extremely well. They look good, and there's nothing bad to say about them. However, in my Impractical Factorio series, one of the things I wanted to do was just kind of play outside of my norm, play outside the box, do things a little bit differently, and try to have a little bit of fun with the game. And I've always wanted a mall where everything just kind of was like this. You have your little setup right here. All these chests are out here with all the stuff that you need. And the idea being that, you're out here walking on your path up your bus and you just walk into here to like a shop. And this is the belt/inserter shop where it has all your belt and inserter needs. All organized nicely here in these little boxes that we can grab. And you come up here, and up here we have our combinator shop that also sells assembly machines on the side, and as well as refining and mining equipment, pipes, repair packs, steel furnaces, all that stuff is right here for us. And we come up here to the next shop that has all of our logic chests and rails and lights and beacons and roboports. All our roboport/train needs are met up here. Locomotives, pumps, tanks, things for stations. As well as our signals and train stops. So yeah, that's basically the idea behind the mall. And I wanted this, and then after I laid that out, I that's where all this other stuff comes in, is how do I make this work? So I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's efficient or is the best mall out there. It just kind of is what it is. It's the mall in a series called Impractical Factorio. That's what it is. And a number of you had requested the blueprint for it. So I'm gonna post it here and kind of explain a little bit about what's going on. I was wanting to tweak it a little bit more and basically wait till it's finished. But with like a lot of things out there, if I were to wait till it was finished, I would never, ever send it out. So we're just going to send it out right now. This isn't the same version that's in the Impractical Factorio series. I've actually done a few updates to it. And I'll get into those as we kind of go around. So yeah, this is our belt shop. I wanted it to lay out like this. So that's why there's like this belt machine in the corner that's feeding these guys up here. There's also these inserter machines that are feeding the stack and the stack filters. It's redundant, but I wanted the block, and that's how I achieved it. We have gears and iron going on the outside. We've got some circuits as well as gears and iron sneaking in on this side. And we've got all this stuff up here, pipe and gears, that's also feeding this next level. We're sneaking in some stone brick right here because currently this is the only thing right here, the steel furnaces that are using that. And at some point I can convert this over to the electric furnaces and then just bring these circuits down further for that to occur. But yeah, all this stuff, we are making pipe, even though we're sending pipe on here, because I like to have pipe in my mall. I like to be able to pick it up, and I could have just grabbed it off the inserter here, but it's all about the look. The look comes first. So yeah, we have our assembly machines back here. We have the speed modules to feed these guys. We have the regular assembly machine ones right here that we're not really using. So yeah, the corner pieces are where I put my intermediate products. And sending some stuff down through here. I don't remember why I've got green circuits doubled there, but I'm sure there was a good reason. Train stuff, yeah, it's all pretty much straightforward. We have some engines here that are feeding both pumps and locomotives. I've seen this engine machine do some weird stuff in that it doesn't seem to share evenly between both. I don't know if I'm going to need to put a circuit condition or something on there, but it seems like it'll either wait till the locomotives are completely full till it starts building pumps, or it'll build pumps until all the pumps are full, then it'll start building locomotives. It never wants to seem to do both, and I don't know if that's due to the inserter orientation or something like that, because I don't seem to have that problem up here with the sticks. These seem to work okay. And like something over here with the circuit machines, I mean, this is a pretty standard circuit build, right? This one right here doesn't seem to favor one. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, we're sneaking in some stone up here to do that. Now, this mess back here is probably question one that may pop up with this blueprint, and this has to do with some limitations I put on myself with Impractical Factorio series. One of those is being that we're only busing basic materials or raw materials, things like copper plates, iron plates, stone brick. And steel plates. We're only busing those things. We're not busing circuits. We're not busing gears. We're not busing any of that. We're making that all on site. And the mall did fall under that condition, so that's what this is all about. The number of machines I have back here, I mean, really, it's very subjective on how many of them you actually need, right? It all depends on how fast you want your mall to fill up. But, I mean, so, you know, if you want it to fill up really fast, you just make 1 million green circuit machines and 1 million red circuit machines and call it a day, right? But the problem is that your mall, most of the time, is sitting just like this, completely idle. So you don't want too many machines. And this is the balance that I came up with. It performs well enough in the high demand situations. And, you know, it's not that many machines idling. I mean, it's a lot of machines idling, but it's not, it's a reasonable number, at least according to me. The second oddity you may notice down here is that I'm bringing in barrels of fluid, which is not something I usually do. It's another limitation I put on myself in the Impractical Factorio series. So all my liquids are being passed up on the bus through barrels, and that's why the coal's here as well, is to make the plastic for the red circuits. So we're having to bring in petroleum and coal in order to get that to occur, and lubricant is being unbarreled here to feed the blue belt. So yeah, I mean, if you're not, if you don't have that restriction, I mean, you can certainly bring in red and green circuits and hook them in right here. You'll be fine, and pipe in the lubricant right here. You'll be fine. You know, or pipe in petroleum to the plastic machine, or pipe in just plastic or just the red circuits. That'll be fine. That should be trivial and is left as an exercise to the viewer. But yeah, as I may have mentioned, this is not the exact version that I have in the Impractical Factorio series. I did go through this bus a couple of times and tried to untie some of the knots, untangle some of the spaghetti. It's still a little bit spaghetti-y. I'm not going to not gonna say it's not, but it's definitely a lot better and runs a lot better than it did. It's a little less confusing, very less knotted, and it's actually a little bit thinner. I was actually able to make it about a tile, I think, tile skinnier, by going through and just unknotting all this mess. But yeah, it works out. It works out pretty well. Works out pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with it. It accomplishes the purpose that I was going for, and I will say that. I do have future plans to expand it on. I do want to get like a nuclear shop up here as well as a defense shop going. And I think we've got what we need in order to make that occur. I mean, I know we're going to need concrete, but we do have some stone brick and stone on the bus, so that shouldn't be hard. Yeah, I mean, things could also be improved. One thing I did do as well, this came from a suggestion from one of the comments, and I thought it was a great suggestion, was to not block the chests like I normally do, but to just leave it open and do it with circuit conditions on the inserters. So we set how many we want on the inserter, and it takes care of all that for us. And the major awesome thing about that is something like yellow belt here. Like, I may want to limit this to, like, 4 stacks, and I've got like a lot of it in my inventory, and I want to dump it off. I can throw it in here, but the problem is that I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do that, then I have to set my limit back, and I don't want to do that. If I can just leave that off and have a circuit condition, I can just throw it in there, and all is well. It's the little things like that, right? So yeah, everything is circuit controlled, so you will have to go, I think most of them are at 50. or at least the stack size is what they're set at. There's some exceptions like the belt, railroad tracks that are set over, so they will overproduce. And there's some things like tanks stack in like stacks of 50. When are you ever going to need 50 tanks? So I actually lowered that one down. Yeah. So that's the completely, totally, definitely practical strip mall that I used in my Impractical Factorio series. This series, if you're new to it, you know, I'm not proposing this as the be-all end-all mall or anything. I throw out these blueprints as a version 1.0 and very much welcome comments, criticisms, suggestions, ideas that we can do to improve this mall. I'm sure there's probably like 20 things that you've thought of since the start of this video in ways to actually improve this, and I would love to hear them. Absolutely love to hear them. Comments, feedback, always welcome and very, very, very much appreciated. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you have not checked out the Impractical Factorio series, it is going on currently. I think I'm on like episode 9 or 10 right now, and having a very, very good time with it. It's all about just playing Factorio a little bit differently. Things like, you know, building on site and bussing fluids and barrels and doing a lot of stuff with circuits. And I'm having a really good time. And if that's not quite your cup of tea, I also have a Practical Factorio series where I start out and kind of do things the way that I've always done Factorio. We play through, and there was actually 2 series of that where we ended up going to 1K science a minute. And that was a lot of fun. And also have this series right here, which I just throw out some basic blueprint ideas. The basic core blueprints that I use in my series. I have do a episode on each little aspect of that. There's like trains, there's stations, smelting, defense, malls, things like that. And I go ahead and check those out if you get a minute. I would very much appreciate that. Well, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. The blueprint for this mall will be down in the comment or in the description. Link to Factorio prints as well as Pastebin as usual. And I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next Factorio video. Have a good one.